No one truly understands what I'm going through. I hear or read this more frequently than you may think. Even if I know the person well and know some of the circumstances they face, it is still a logical proposition. I personally do not know everything about their circumstances. But isn't this true for everyone? This is very similar to the old spiritual, nobody knows the troubles I face, nobody knows but Jesus. Although this isn't the intent of those who repeat this phrase, if you hear it often enough, it can almost echo the old hee-haw song, gloom, despair, and agony on me. I don't mean to sound unsympathetic to their circumstances. I'm just pointing out the humorous aspect of stating the obvious. Of course, it is very, very true that I don't know the feeling, the struggle, the joy, the mental anger, and the anxiousness of everything going on in another person's mind. How could I? So this statement goes without saying. So what is meant when people say this? Let's talk about it. Hello, thanks for stopping by Mountain Monergism Studios. I am Jim Hale, your host. Mountain Monergism produces content from what is often called the Reformed tradition or theology based on the Protestant Reformation perspective. Again, thanks for stopping by. James 1:2 says, "Count or consider it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds." So what about that phrase? No one truly understands what I'm going through. Of course, people often express the sentiment that their struggles are unique when faced with multiple problems at once. However, everyone encounters challenges in life, don't they? So, how can we determine whether our struggles are truly something that no one else can understand to justify claiming, "Nobody knows the struggles I face"? Really, I think this expression stems from those who are dealing with multiple challenges yet find it difficult to articulate them to others. In reality, I'm not sure it matters if we have more problems than others. This isn't a competition to see who has it worse. Some people are simply better at concealing their difficulties. While our challenges may differ, we all face obstacles. Life is filled with tough moments, or as the Bible refers to them, trials. These challenges can take many forms: suffering, struggles, hurt, pain, financial issues, hunger, death, injury, illness, job loss, divorce, raising children, a house falling apart, and more. This is life. All of life is like this. While this list may seem overwhelmingly negative, and it is, trials can also stem from situations we typically view as positive. Success, popularity, and wealth can bring their own unique challenges. If you've never had much money, like most of us, it may be hard to fathom how wealthy individuals encounter difficulties. Money can indeed buy many things, but it doesn't solve everything. At one time, I operated several businesses and earned a good income, but the stress and pressure I faced were some of the heaviest burdens I have ever carried. Life is a series of trials, and these continue for me even today. They will always be present in some way. Some days, it feels as though the world is against me. Like on days that I'm late and I hit every red light, find myself stuck behind slow drivers, and there never seem to be any parking spaces where I need to go. And because I'm running late and may not have time for dinner, I may decide to drive through McDonald's. Of course, I always choose the drive-through lane that moves the slowest. Finally, when it's my turn, I have to repeat my order 3 times, each time louder, and everyone in the parking lot hears me request a Big Mac and fries with no Coke, except for the young girl taking my order, who is too busy texting to pay attention. Naturally, they end up getting my order wrong. They overcharge me just by a nickel, but it still bothers me, and the food is cold. To top it all off, I get mustard on my new white shirt, and I'm late for teaching at church. Then 150 people at church notice the mustard stain. After all that, it's time to pray and teach from the Bible. Believe it or not, these kinds of days are quite common. They occur more often than we realize. Sometimes, they stand out more because of our attitude that day. Maybe we didn't sleep well, or we are starting to feel sick, or maybe we are just running late, and everyone seems to be in our way. At other times, these situations don't bother me as much. Traffic lights tend to follow a regular pattern, so chances are I hit the same number of lights most days. People go to work on the same schedule, so unless there's a fender bender or road work, The traffic is likely to remain consistent. The ice cream machine at McDonald's, well, it still doesn't work, but that's okay. I just enjoy some music on the way, and I feel fine. What has changed the most is my attitude. My attitude makes it a good day or a bad day. However, eventually, we all face significant challenges. Major trials, such as the death of a loved one, serious illness, or divorce, can hit us hard. The message in the book of James is not intended to be used by us to counsel those going through tough times. Instead, it serves as a lifelong guidance handbook for each of us to build a biblical strategy that helps us endure these difficult moments. James encourages us to consider it all joy during tough times. This doesn't mean we should ignore our problems. For example, if someone crashes their new car and they still owe a lot on it, they aren't expected to feel happy about it. James understands that we face real challenges that can hurt us. He doesn't say bad times are enjoyable. He isn't telling us to pretend that suffering is joyful or to simply tolerate our pain. Instead, he uses the word consider and the word all to prompt us to think about our struggles differently. Consider means we should evaluate our difficult situations and recognize that all of them, taken together, can ultimately lead to joy. Ecclesiastes 3:11, He has made everything beautiful in its time. How can we think of our problems as joy or, as Ecclesiastes says it, beautiful? We need to look beyond the immediate hardships to see their potential positive outcomes. Jesus provides a great example. He suffered greatly on the cross and felt deep shame. He even prayed to avoid the suffering that awaited him. Jesus focused on the joy that lay ahead, which helped him endure the cross, as noted in Hebrews 12:2. Jesus ignored the shame and looked forward to the joy that would come from his sacrifice. If we want to find joy in our trials, we should follow his example. We must see that God has planned good things that will come from our troubles. Trials happen for a reason. They are not pointless. They help us grow. James tells us that testing our faith builds endurance. What is endurance? It means the ability to keep going. In sports, you learn endurance when you train and push through exhaustion. My coach wanted training to be way tougher than game day. When you keep going in training, you grow stronger, which makes game day much easier. For example, you become a better violinist by practicing through your mistakes. If you keep going, you will get better. Life requires endurance too. James 1:4 tells us to let endurance complete its work so that we may grow and lack nothing. Endurance is essential for growth. As a child of God, you are constantly growing. Life can feel like looking at the back of a cross-stitch, messy with strings and knots. However, on the other side of the knots, it is a piece of art. God sees the entire picture. He designs your life beautifully, even if you can't see it now. You may feel overwhelmed by challenges, but you can trust that a greater plan exists. You can believe this because of what God has done for you in the past. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.